It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hi, good morning and welcome to Friday Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. Tried something a little different this morning. I went live for about 45 seconds before I played the intro. So I'll be interested to see if you guys could hear the intro or not. And then I didn't bring myself into the stream until probably a second or so after the intro played. So I'll try that and see if it worked. Now, on the other end of technical things, before we get to today's show, yesterday afternoon in the pool, I did my first ever live intro work. Got an intro. Okay, so I'll start doing it that way now. So I did my first ever Instagram live from the pool. I was naked, well, part naked. I just finished my workout, and I said, okay, let's try an Instagram live. Now, I'm not sure if it's still up or not. I haven't gotten that far. But anyway, I saw the replay, and it was up. Now, nobody was expecting it. I wasn't counting on getting anybody in the audience or anything like that. And quite frankly, folks, I'm terrible on Instagram. I'm really good on X. I'm really good on TikTok. Decent on YouTube and Facebook. My podcast numbers are just outstanding. I mean, it's hard to believe in the podcast network, which has got a bunch of people that are way more experienced than I am. I rank second or third in the whole network. So now, admittedly, this isn't a network that's got people that do millions of, but still, there's some pretty well-known people in the network, and my numbers are right up there at the top, including with my son. So, but I'm terrible on Instagram, and I post something on Instagram all the time. So I want to work on that a little bit. So this morning, after I finished writing everything and getting everything ready for today's show, I said, okay, I'm going to try doing a live on Instagram on the show, Travel and Cruise Industry Live show. So I had to figure out how to do all the things so I could do it from my computer to the phone and get the keys something or another. And, I went through all the stuff you're supposed to do. And then I didn't know whether to do it horizontal or vertical. Then I found out I still have to do it vertical from my end, even though it's horizontal when it goes on to Instagram. But anyway, so I started it up and I ran through the show rather quickly. I mean, I didn't explain what I'm doing. And got to the end and ended it, and did what I thought I was supposed to do to end the show, and for it to go up is nowhere. It's not on Instagram. It's not on my computer. Then when I finally went back to StreamYard because I ran it through StreamYard, it's still. I mean, I played the past thing, and the audio was all screwed up at the first. I don't know. So it didn't work. So I'll try that again. One of these days I'll get on Instagram. I'll get it figured out eventually. And then I'll screw it up over there just like I screw it up here. So you don't have to worry about that. All right, on with the business of the day. Welcome to Friday's Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. And this is the 12th day of July. The main story this morning is Utopia the Sea arrives at Port Canaveral. That was yesterday, of course. A massive renovation at Atlantis. I have 2 passenger complaints to discuss this morning, and Friday's tropical weather update. That and lots more live here at 11 o'clock this morning. It's really a lousy news day again. So, I had one good news day, this week, I think. And the rest has been really short on news, but that's okay. Today is National Pecan Pie Day. Pecan pie is one of those things that you either love it or you absolutely hate it. There's 4 of us in this house. My sister, her daughter, Amanda, and Mr. Gene is her better half, and me. My sister and I love pecan pie. Amanda and Gene, Mr. Gene, can't stand it. And I find that at a lot of places. Either you love it or you don't love it. So anyway, for those of you that love it, today's National Pecan Pie. And to me, there's nothing better than pecan pie with some real whipped cream on it. Not the squirt stuff out of the can. Real, honest to God, whipped cream. And I know that's terrible for a fat guy like me, but so well. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Any of the big guys, just search for travel and cruise industry news, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. If you are listening via the podcast and want to jump over to the video feed, there's always a link in the description of the podcast, so you can do just that. All right, so again, not a whole lot in the way of news this morning, but before we get to it, let's take a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors. Yesterday, Royal Caribbean International's Utopia of the Seas made its much anticipated arrival to its new home port, Port Canaveral, marking its official entry into the United States. Second in size only to Icon of the Seas and the 6th and final Oasis-class vessel, Utopia of the Seas was constructed at the Chantiers de l'Atlantis shipyard in France. Its keel was laid in 2022. Royal Caribbean received the ship from the builders on June 13th after completing successful sea trials led by Captain Gus Anderson. Touted as the world's biggest weekend, Utopia of the Seas is set to offer 3- and 4-night cruises through a series of regularly scheduled routes, taking guests to Nassau and Royal Caribbean's private destination, Perfect Day at Coco Cay, both in the Bahamas. Before launching on its first scheduled cruise from Port Canaveral, July 19th, Utopia of the Seas will operate a 2-night shakedown cruise to perform additional tests and allow the crew to get better acquainted with the vessel ahead of its 3-night christening cruise embarking on July the 15th. Atlantis Paradise Island, the most iconic resort destination in the Bahamas and the Caribbean, has completed a $150 million resort-wide transformation, including updates to the casino, guest rooms, restaurants, and lounges. The resort unveiled refashioned guest rooms at the Royal Atlantis Iconic Towers, an entirely redefined Atlantis casino, and Paranza, a new restaurant at the Cove, where the esteemed Michelin star chef Michael White brings his culinary mastery to the table. Congratulations to the Atlantis. Join us on a totally unique transatlantic cruise on the Norwegian Epic. This cruise sails from New York on March 31st, arrives in Rome on April 15th, with stops in Bermuda, Punta Delgada, Lisbon, Barcelona, Cannes, Livorno, and Naples. What a fantastic cruise. Cabins start at $1,632 per person. All you have to do is call me, 434-258-9264, and we'll sail from New York to Rome on the Norwegian Epic. Two stories today stemming from passenger complaints. First, a lady's luggage was lost. Guest services reported they could not find the luggage. Finally, following her gut instinct after several days of searching, the lady turned her cell service back on when she realized she had received a call from an Amsterdam-based number. A stranger had pulled her suitcase out of a canal at the port of Amsterdam, which leads out to the North Sea, and called the distressed passenger after finding her contact information on the luggage. Celebrity Cruise Line baggage people knocked her bag in the ocean and left it there. It contained everything she needed for a 2-week cruise in Europe. No one reported it was gone. At last report, she still hadn't gotten her bag back, and very little assistance from Celebrity. Another passenger on board P&O Cruises, P&O Azura, was stunned to find derogatory bingo cards mocking various guests, according to a social media post. The cards, titled Cruise Ship Bingo, listed offensive categories such as big fat fatties waiting around, gigantic horrid tattoos, and unruly brats who can't behave. The cards were discovered in cabin pigeonholes and public areas, suggesting it was a widespread prank by a disgruntled passenger. The cards were not part of a targeted attack, but marked a broad spectrum of passengers. While the incident on the 3,100 passenger P&O Azura is shocking, the concept of cruise ship bingo is not new. Similar pranks have been discussed on online forums and even marketed on platforms like Etsy. For instance, a Reddit thread on Our Cruise mentions various passenger bingo cards, highlighting a broader trend of using cards to mock or entertain at the expense of fellow travelers. These are less shocking, with players seeking passengers wearing socks with sandals or celebrity lookalikes. How about, guys, we don't use any of those derogatory type cards on bingo games? Let's go back to B3 and 066. I really didn't want to talk about this week, folks, but since I'm going to get rained on most of the day today, I guess I better. Off the South Carolina coast, a broad area of low pressure located about 100 miles off the coast of South Carolina continues to produce disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Due to strong upper level winds, development of the system is not expected before it moves inland over South Carolina and North Carolina later today. However, the disturbance could contribute to areas of heavy rainfall and possible flash flooding across coastal portions of the Carolinas and mid-Atlantic through tonight. And the upper bands of this are supposed to bring me rainfall. The pool in question for today doesn't make me happy. A tropical wave over the far eastern Pacific is producing disorganized showers and a few thunderstorms. The wave is forecast to move west or west-northwestward at 15 miles an hour during the next few days, and conditions could become conducive for some slow development next week while the wave moves through the central portion of the basin. Formation chance for 48 hours is nearly zero. However, over the next 7 days, it does at least increase to 20%. Why not join me on the MSC Grandiosa cruise from Port Canaveral, Florida on February the 14th, 2026. It's 8 days and 7 nights with stops in Nassau, Ocean Key Marine Reserve, and Puerto Plata. The nice thing about this cruise, it'll be my first chance to be on the Grandiosa. That's one thing, but it's also has excellent pricing. Our prices start at $588 per person, including taxes and port charges. Solo prices start at $738, or if you're solo, the package with drinks and Wi-Fi is only $1,052. including taxes and port charges. Dynamite prices on the MSC Grandiosa sailing February 14th, 2026 from Port Canaveral. Call me 434-258-9264 and we'll see you on the Grandiosa. All right, that's going to end today's news portion of today's show. Let's go over and see who's fussing to me in the chat room today. I don't think I screwed anything up today on the show. The show's not over yet, folks. Don't worry. All right, so let's see who is here today. Hi there, Tom from Waldorf, Maryland. Actually, he's on the road. He was put in the chat room from Waldorf, Maryland. They're listening in the car. Drive safely. Hi there, Tom. Stay out of the donut shops up there. They're bad for you. Gretchen's with us up in Ohio. There's Mike. Everybody says, got an intro. Okay, so I go live for, a minute before the show starts. And then put the intro on. Maybe that's the secret. I don't know. Oh, Mike says no intro. Oy vey. Bob's here. Thank God it's Friday. I agree. Todd's with us. He got the intro. Gary Older Than Dirt's here. Good morning, all. Hey, Gary. There's Sunny down Mississippi. Greeting from heat melting south. Yeah, man, it's been hot. So it's only going up to 77 here today, 75 tomorrow. This cold wave. Then it goes to 91, 95, 98, and 100. So if we get through this 24 hours, till it's a little colder with the rain and stuff, and then it's going to be awful. But rarely do we see 100 here, so I'd be really surprised to see that. Gretchen says 80 degrees now, going up to 83 today. You're a little warmer than I am, but about the same. Not too bad. Yeah, it's going to be comfortable here, but I won't go out and get in the pool if it's storming. I mean, that's dumb. With it not being hot, I may not go out and get in if it's just raining a little bit. If it's hot and raining, I don't care about the rain. I don't get wet anyway. But I just don't want to take a chance on lightning. Gretchen says, I've been checking Alaska temps. Hope it warms up just a little bit. Well, as they have been complaining, all summer about it being too hot up there. So, yeah, they're getting a little more seasonal weather now. Hot Air says, I like the story about the woman whose luggage was lost into the port water. Elizabeth says, Buenos dias, Chilean gang. Gorgeous sunny day here. By the way, I'm not on Instagram, TikTok, and never listen to a podcast. That's okay, Elizabeth. You're on this channel. That's all that matters. I don't even know how to turn on the TV in this place I'm living. Well, I can't go that far. My TV stays on all the time. And by the way, Elizabeth is not too awful long until she goes back to work. I think, what'd she say? She flies out on the 26th, I think. So not too long from now, Elizabeth's got to go back in the working part of the world. But she's going to be going places and can send us pictures and clips and videos and everything. Gretchen says the lady got a lot of cash and perks for that one. Yeah, but it actually, she got some stuff, but they were very slow in doing it, and they haven't shipped a suitcase on ahead from Amsterdam. But she's got to be with somebody from Silhouette when they open the bag, I guess, for later legal claims. I don't know. But she said she had two pair of pants that were really expensive, and she had some priceless jewelry, and she had medication in there too. We're not supposed to do that in a suitcase. You do that in a carry-on bag. So that was a mistake on her part. They did give her laundry credits, but they didn't have anything to wear. So I don't know, tough situation. And that's Jean's nurse coming in. So, all right, Sonny says, nice home. Have fun, Tom. Intro or not intro, that is the question. Yeah, it reminds me of the guy that returned my husband's last. Okay, I've got to go get the door, folks. I'll be back in a second. Just stick with me, and I'll finish up the chat room. Yeah. Come on in. Come on in. You just walk in here. I'm on a live show. And they're to go to the left, and that's their rooms in there. Well, that was interesting. That was a fill-in nurse for my sister because her regular girl is on vacation, and she didn't know just to walk in the door. And of course, I'm out of breath from running in to open the door. Okay. Intro or no intro? That is the question. That's from Sonny. Nice, honest person in Amsterdam that found the luggage. Yeah, that's. I can't believe. Surely, the crew in Amsterdam that was loading the luggage on didn't see it, or they would have fished it out and bitten the bullet right there, I guess. Or I can't imagine that they would just let it go if they saw it. But you never know. Sonny says to have fun, Tom. Actually, Tom's he and Cindy are going up there for a couple of funerals, so this isn't necessarily a fun trip. Gretchen says, Sonny says, oh, Gretchen, that's so nice to hear about. Things like this emphasizes my hope in humanity. Yeah, I totally agree on that. Gretchen says too hot. Oh, geez, only Vancouver was comfortable temperatures, but I guess that's due to the western heat wave. Yeah, it was a miracle, Sonny. And yeah, Gretchen, I'm not sure how to pack for this. I mean, I've been up there 4 times. Last year, I had a heavy coat and didn't need it. I had a lighter jacket and my sweatshirts. But my heavy winter coat, which is my Alaska coat because I don't use it around here, I had with me. And it's a pain in the, on the chair with the coat. And then even if I can stow it underneath the seat on the chair, now I got to pull it out and do all that stuff. We're going through customs and all that business and getting through security again, getting on the it's just a pain for me. And then if you put it in a luggage, it takes up so much space. You don't have the clothes in there and keep with the weight limit business. So I'm not entirely sure how to pack for this trip. So, your guess is as good as mine on this one. Okay, and get rid of the oxygen now. Got my breath back. All right, let's see. Hot Air says, and the laundry lost her only pair of pants. Yeah, wouldn't that be a trip? Yeah. I will say one thing. I have done laundry on cruise ships numerous times. And they've never lost anything of mine. I hate the stupid tags that they put into the identification tags. Those are always itchy, and I end up having to pull them off and, all that kind of thing. But they've always, I've paid for it. I haven't used free services. I've never had free services. But, I'll do it like on their specials, especially. You get so many pieces for $20 or something. But anyway, I've done it a lot with, especially when, back-to-back cruises and stuff, because I can't carry multiple suitcases. That doesn't work with me. And so I've used it a lot. So, I would think she was sending a pair of pants in every day. I don't know. It was yesterday. She still had not gotten the suitcase. Now, why they couldn't send it ahead to the next port, I don't know. But anyway, I hope she gets her luggage, and I hope it's salvageable. If my luggage gets dumped, it contains my whole Dolce & Gabbana wardrobe. Yeah, I hear you. I wonder what she had on at the time. Yeah, that's another interesting thing. What was she wearing when all this happened? And Gretchen says, and my Gucci. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hear you guys. Oh, sorry, Tom. Safe travels for you and Cindy. I laugh at you guys all the time. So that was pretty funny, Sonny, actually. Gretchen says, we're taking coats, but not our heaviest. Might have to rethink that. Yeah, I don't know. See, I can take a lighter weight coat that doesn't take up quite as much room. I don't know. I'll wait and see what the weather is, that week, a couple days before, and then decide. I do know, normally I take one pair of long pants. You got to do more than that in Alaska because you're not going to wear shorts every day like you do in the Caribbean. But yeah, so Sonny says Gretchen layers and medium coat. So yeah, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today and for the weekend. And let's stay. I'll keep abreast of things and go live if anything major happens. If not, I'll see everybody back here on Monday. I think I've got another medical thing next week sometime. I don't know. I don't think it's going to affect the show, though. But anyway, that's it for the weekend. I'll attempt again to do a Instagram live and see if I can do a travel and cruise industry news show live. Folks, I'm being cheap. I'm allowed 3 venues by StreamYard for how much ever I pay a year, $400 a year or something. Maybe it's $200 a year. And to add 4 more venues on it would cost me another like $300 more or something. So it would be like $500 a year for the streaming services. I don't make that much money in a year, much less monthly. So I'm being cheap. I can do our show. We do it on 3 places: YouTube, Facebook, and X. So I have to do a totally separate show, and I can do it from StreamYard. I can do multiple shows from StreamYard. but Instagram is a second venue. So I'll see if it works out. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'm doing anything I can do to keep trying to build numbers so that one of these days, folks, I can actually attract a money sponsor. That would be really nice. That would pay me to do this, you know, so I could do some of the expensive cruises that I've always wanted to do and never could afford. But we'll see. All right, guys. Like I said, that's going to wrap me up. Everybody have a wonderful Friday. Have a terrific weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see everybody either if something happens or back here on Monday. Y'all have fun. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.